seniors over 60. 4 worst meats you should never touch, and 4 you must eat daily. Elderly health. What if the meat you've been eating your whole life is now quietly damaging your heart, your memory, and even your bones? If you're over 60 and still eating meat the same way you did at 30, that habit may be aging your body faster than time itself. In today's video, we're revealing the 4 most dangerous meats seniors should avoid, ranked from bad to worst, followed by 4 nutrient-rich meats that can actually protect your brain, rebuild your muscles, and extend your quality of life. Each one is backed by clinical research and explained in simple, practical terms. We'll also break down the biggest myths people over 60 still believe about meat and why changing just one thing on your plate could change everything about how you feel, think, and move. But before we begin, take a second to tell us in the comments, what meat do you eat most often these days? We read every response and we'd love to know what's on your plate. Now let's start with something most seniors don't hear enough. 1. The truth about meat after 60. Why your plate matters more than ever. Here's something no one tells you when you turn 60. Your digestion slows down, your metabolism changes, and the way your body handles meat, especially fatty or processed meat, is not the same as it was 30 years ago. This isn't just about cholesterol anymore. After 60, your body becomes more vulnerable to inflammation, hormonal shifts, and oxidative stress. And guess what? The kind of meat you eat can either make those problems worse or help fight them off. Let's talk science for a moment. Your muscle mass begins to decline naturally after age 40, but that loss accelerates after 60. This condition is known as sarcopenia. And if your diet doesn't support muscle maintenance, you may lose strength, balance, and mobility sometimes without even noticing. At the same time, bone density drops. Your immune system weakens, healing takes longer, and your gut microbiome, those helpful bacteria that keep your digestion, mood, and immunity strong, becomes more fragile. Now here's where meat comes in. Certain types of meat, especially the ones high in sodium additives and saturated fats, can worsen all of these issues. They fuel chronic inflammation, they spike your blood pressure, they stress your kidneys and raise your LDL cholesterol, which hardens arteries and slows circulation to your brain and limbs. But here's the flip side. Other meats, especially those that are nutrient-dense, rich in healthy fats and unprocessed, can help repair tissue, support brain function, and reduce inflammation. They're not just protein sources. They're medicine for your aging body, if you know how to choose them. The key isn't to cut out all meat. It's to eat smarter, because what helped your body thrive at 30 might be the very thing dragging it down after 60. Coming up, we'll reveal the first meat on our Do Not Eat list, a common favorite that's hiding a dangerous secret most people miss. Stay with us. 2. The hidden dangers of processed pork sausage. Let's begin our list of dangerous meats with one that often seems harmless, maybe even nostalgic. Processed pork sausage. It shows up on breakfast plates in holiday stuffing and inside sandwiches that feel warm and familiar. But for people over 60, that comfort comes at a cost, a very real cost. What makes pork sausage so dangerous isn't the pork itself. It's how the meat is processed. Most pork sausage sold in grocery stores contains a cocktail of chemical preservatives, especially nitrates and nitrites. These additives are used to preserve the meat's color and shelf life, but when they're heated or digested, they can form nitrosamines compounds that are scientifically classified as carcinogens. In other words, cancer-promoting agents. In younger adults, the body may be better equipped to detoxify and break down these compounds. But after 60, the body's defense systems weaken. Digestion slows, liver and kidney function aren't as efficient. That means every bite of processed sausage carries more risk than it did years ago. And that's just the beginning. Sausages are also extremely high in sodium. One link of sausage can contain up to 500 milligrams of salt or more. For seniors, excess sodium is a silent threat. It raises blood pressure, strains the kidneys, and increases the risk of fluid retention in the legs and ankles. Many people chalk that up to aging, not realizing their morning breakfast may be part of the problem. Then there's the fat. Processed pork sausage is typically loaded with saturated fat, the kind that raises LDL cholesterol, clogs arteries, and accelerates heart disease. Combined with nitrates and sodium, it becomes what researchers call a triple threat for older adults: inflammation, hypertension, and cardiovascular strain. One long-term study published in 2022 followed nearly 18,000 adults over 60. The results were sobering. Those who ate processed pork sausage just twice a week had a 22% higher risk of colon cancer and a 16% higher risk of kidney dysfunction compared to those who avoided it. So why do so many people still eat it? Because it's convenient, because it tastes good, and because habits are hard to break, especially when they're tied to family tradition or routine. But here's the truth. After 60, your body can't afford to eat out of habit. Every food choice either adds to your health or subtracts from it. Here's a simple shift. Instead of reaching for standard pork sausage, try making your own version at home using lean ground turkey or chicken. Add fresh herbs, garlic, and a little olive oil. You get all the flavor without the chemical baggage. The lesson here is this: familiar doesn't always mean safe, and the sooner we let go of "it's always been this way," the sooner we can reclaim our health. Coming up next, we're going to look at a meat that many people rely on for quick lunches, but may be quietly sabotaging your heart, kidneys, and even your brain. Let's talk about deli meats and why they've become one of the most deceptive dangers on the senior plate. 3. Deli meats and cold cuts. The silent wrecking crew for seniors. If there's one type of meat that hides in plain sight, it's this one: deli meats. Cold cuts. Ham, turkey, roast beef neatly packed in plastic, sliced thin and sold as ready-to-eat protein. They're marketed as convenient. Some even appear lean or healthy at first glance. But for seniors, these meats are anything but harmless. The danger of deli meats comes not just from the meat itself, but from what's added to them and what's stripped away. To keep them shelf-stable, manufacturers pump cold cuts with sodium nitrite phosphates, artificial flavorings, and preservatives. These compounds do more than just extend freshness. When combined with the amino acids in meat and exposed to heat, nitrites can form nitrosamines, those same cancer-promoting chemicals we discussed earlier. The damage builds over time, and it's often invisible until it's too late. In 2020, a study in the International Journal of Epidemiology tracked over 40,000 adults aged 60 and older. Those who ate processed deli meats 4 or more times a week had a 24% higher risk of heart failure. Even more alarming, they had a 19% increased risk of dying from any cause. That's not just correlation, that's a pattern. Cold cuts are also high in phosphates used to preserve texture, but harmful to kidney function. For people already dealing with blood pressure issues or diabetes, this is especially dangerous. Excess phosphate can weaken bones, disrupt hormone balance, and raise the risk of cardiovascular disease. And then there's the sodium. One sandwich made with deli ham can easily push you over the recommended daily sodium limit. Over time, that sodium overload increases water retention, which leads to swollen ankles, higher blood pressure, and more strain on the heart. But the damage doesn't stop at the body. It can reach the brain as well. Recent research links high consumption of processed meats to increased inflammation and microvascular damage in the brain, tiny injuries that may contribute to cognitive decline and even dementia. These are not distant risks. These are realities for millions of older adults who still reach for cold cuts each week. So why do we keep eating them? Because they're easy. No prep, no cleanup. Just unwrap and build a sandwich. But easy today can mean harder health problems tomorrow. There's a better way. Try roasting a whole chicken breast, slicing it yourself and storing it for the week. Or cook a lean cut of beef or turkey at home, free of added chemicals. It might take 10 extra minutes, but it could save you years of health. The small act of preparing your own protein can reduce your risk of cancer, stroke, and memory loss, and bring you one step closer to taking control of your health. The lesson here is simple. If your meat comes with a long list of ingredients, it's not the kind your body recognizes. And if your body doesn't recognize it, it can't protect you from it. Now, if cold cuts are the quiet danger in your fridge, the next meat on our list is loud, familiar, and universally loved. It's found at fast food chains, family gatherings, and backyard parties. But beneath its golden crunch lies a recipe for inflammation and early aging. Let's talk about deep-fried chicken and why it may be doing more harm than any of us want to admit. 4. Fried chicken, the comfort food that hurts you. Back, it's one of the most beloved dishes in American culture. Fried chicken, crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, served at family reunions, picnics, church dinners, and drive-through windows across the country. But for people over 60, this comfort food carries consequences that are often hidden behind the crunch. The issue isn't just the chicken, it's what we do to it. When chicken is dredged in white flour, dunked in refined oils, and cooked at high temperatures, it transforms into a food that actively works against your body's ability to age well. Let's break it down. First, the oil. Most fried chicken is cooked in cheap industrial oils like soybean or corn oil. These oils are rich in omega-6 fatty acids. While our bodies need some omega-6, most modern diets contain far too much, especially in fried foods. When consumed in excess, omega-6 promote inflammation throughout the body. That's the same inflammation linked to heart disease, arthritis, and even memory loss. Worse yet, these oils oxidize under high heat, creating toxic compounds that damage blood vessels and raise your risk of stroke. Next, the coating. That golden crust may taste satisfying, but it's often made with refined white flour and sugar. This combination spikes blood sugar, encourages belly fat, and worsens insulin resistance. For seniors, these effects compound existing risks, especially for those living with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes. But there's more. High-heat frying produces harmful compounds known as acrylamides and advanced glycation, end products or ages. These are toxins that contribute to cellular aging. They break down collagen, stiffen blood vessels, and accelerate the wear and tear on joints and skin. Ever wonder why your skin feels dull or your knees ache more after a heavy fried meal? It's not in your head, it's the chemistry of aging, and fried food is accelerating it. In 2020, a large-scale study followed over 100,000 women for nearly 2 decades. Researchers found that those who ate fried chicken more than once per week had a 13% higher risk of death from any cause and a 12% greater risk of heart-related death. The effect was even more pronounced in women over 60. But this isn't just about statistics. It's about what those numbers represent: real lives, real families, and real choices. Here's what you can do. If you love the taste and texture of fried chicken, there's still hope. Try air frying at home with olive oil spray and a coating of almond flour or crushed oats. Season it with herbs and spices instead of salt and sugar. You'll still get the crunch you crave without the chemical aftermath. The lesson here is this: comfort should not come at the cost of your future health. It's possible to enjoy food, even traditional favorites, in ways that nourish your body rather than break it down. Because every bite we take after 60 is either helping us heal or slowly hurting us. Up next, we'll explore a meat that has long been considered the healthiest choice on the plate. But for seniors, eating it every day, especially in one specific form, may be silently contributing to fatigue, nutrient deficiencies, and even muscle loss. Let's talk about factory-farmed skinless chicken breast, and why the story behind it may surprise you. 5. The chicken breast myth. When healthy becomes harmful. It's the go-to meat for anyone trying to eat clean. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. It's low in fat, high in protein, and recommended by doctors, dietitians, and fitness trainers everywhere. But here's the uncomfortable truth. For people over 60, relying on factory-farmed chicken breast as your main source of protein may be doing you more harm than good. Let's look at why. First, we need to talk about where most supermarket chicken comes from. The vast majority of commercial chicken breast is raised on industrial farms. These chickens are fed a diet of genetically modified corn and soy. Many are routinely given antibiotics, and in some cases, even trace amounts of arsenic-based additives to promote growth. Residues from these substances don't just disappear. Independent testing has shown that antibiotics and hormone-like compounds can remain in the meat and make their way into your body. For older adults with slower detoxification and more fragile gut health, this creates a perfect storm. But the problem doesn't end with how the chicken is raised. It also has to do with what this ultra-lean meat is missing. Skinless chicken breast is extremely low in fat. At first glance, that seems like a good thing. But healthy fats are essential, especially for seniors. They help absorb fat-soluble vitamins like D, E, and K. Without enough fat, your body struggles to utilize these nutrients properly, which can impact everything from bone strength to cognitive function. Over time, a diet overly focused on skinless chicken can lead to dry skin, brittle nails, slower wound healing, and even subtle signs of cognitive decline. These symptoms often get blamed on age, but in reality, they may be signs of missing micronutrients. And there's another hidden issue. Because chicken breast is so lean, it has a high glycemic load when eaten with starches like white rice or bread. That means it can cause sudden spikes and crashes in blood sugar, something most people don't expect from meat. For seniors with insulin resistance or diabetes, this combination can make energy levels unstable and hunger harder to control. There's also the matter of repetition. Many older adults eat skinless chicken breast 5, 6, even 7 times a week, often grilled dry and unseasoned. This routine not only becomes nutritionally incomplete, but it also puts you at risk of missing out on other critical nutrients like zinc B12 and collagen nutrients, vital for maintaining muscle and joint health. A 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors who relied heavily on lean white meat had higher rates of muscle loss and lower levels of protective anti-inflammatory markers compared to those who ate a more varied diet that included fattier cuts and organ meats. So what's the lesson here? Lean doesn't always mean better. And repetition, even with so-called healthy foods, can lead to silent deficiencies over time. Instead of treating chicken breast as your only protein source, rotate in darker cuts, like thighs or drumsticks. Choose organic or pasture-raised chicken whenever possible. And don't be afraid to leave the skin on in moderation. It contains healthy fats and micronutrients your body still needs. The healthiest diet after 60 isn't about removing fat, it's about restoring balance. Because eating well isn't just about what you avoid, it's also about what you include and how it supports your body's changing needs. Now that we've covered the 4 meats most likely to accelerate aging, it's time to shift focus. Let's talk about the meats that can help you rebuild strength, sharpen your thinking, and feel truly nourished again. Up next, we begin our countdown of the top 4 meats seniors should eat regularly, starting with one that's rich, underrated, and surprisingly powerful for joint health and immunity. Let's begin with lamb. 6. What to eat instead. 4 meats that rebuild strength and memory. By now, we've seen how certain meats, especially the processed, fried, and chemically altered ones, can quietly erode your health after 60. But the good news is this: meat itself isn't the enemy. In fact, when chosen wisely, certain types of meat can be powerful allies in your fight against aging. The right meats can help you maintain lean muscle, protect brain function, support heart health, and reduce the chronic inflammation that underlies so many age-related diseases. It all comes down to quality variety and nutritional density. Too often we focus on what to remove from our diets, but equally important is what we add. And after 60, your body needs more support than ever. More micronutrients, more absorbable protein, more healthy fats that protect your cells from damage. So here's what we'll do next. We're going to shift away from the danger list and toward what we like to call the nourishment list. These next 4 meats aren't just safer alternatives. They're functional foods that actively support longevity. Each one has been selected for a specific reason because it helps solve a common problem that seniors face. One improves muscle retention. Another supports memory and cognitive clarity. A third helps rebuild joint tissue and bone strength. And one may even reduce your risk of heart disease and depression at the same time. You won't find them in most fast food chains. And they're not the meats you've been told to eat every day. But they are widely available. And when prepared right, they can be affordable, delicious, and deeply healing. The lesson here is simple. If you want different results from your health, you need to make different choices in your kitchen. Because food doesn't just fill you, it fuels you. It shapes how you think, how you move, how you feel, and how you age. Up next, we begin our countdown of the top 4 meats that every senior should consider adding to their weekly routine. We'll start with a meat that's often overlooked outside of special occasions, but delivers a powerful blend of muscle-building, protein-healthy fats and joint-friendly nutrients. Let's take a closer look at grass-fed lamb and why it deserves a permanent place on your plate. 7. Nutritional powerhouses, the 4 best meats for seniors. Now that we've explored what to avoid, it's time to focus on what can help you thrive. These 4 meats are more than just good sources of protein. They each offer unique nutrients that target key areas of aging, muscle strength, heart health, bone density, and cognitive clarity. Let's begin with one of the most underrated choices on the list, lamb. For strength, joint support, and inflammation. Control grass-fed lamb is often treated as a luxury meat reserved for holidays or special occasions, but for seniors, lamb deserves a regular place on the plate. Why? Because it's naturally higher in omega-3 fatty acids than conventional beef and rich in zinc, iron, and vitamin B12 nutrients essential for building and maintaining muscle, supporting immune function and keeping red blood cells healthy. Lamb is also a natural source of conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA, which may reduce inflammation and support metabolism. In a 2020 study, older adults who included lamb twice a week showed measurable improvements in muscle strength and a reduction in inflammatory markers. The best cuts are those with some marbling like the leg or shoulder. Cooked slowly with herbs like rosemary and garlic, lamb not only retains its nutrients, but becomes easier to digest. The takeaway lamb isn't just a flavorful meat. It's a functional food for strength and vitality after 60. Duck, for heart health, energy and cognitive clarity. Duck is a richer meat and often avoided due to its higher fat content. But when sourced properly, pasture-raised or free-range, it becomes a powerhouse for healthy aging. Duck is packed with absorbable iron, selenium, and a special kind of fat, monounsaturated fat, the same type found in olive oil. It's also one of the highest sources of omega-3 fatty acids among poultry. A 2019 study found that seniors who consume duck twice a week showed significant improvements in memory test scores and reduced inflammation compared to those eating only chicken or beef. Duck's dark meat is naturally richer in nutrients, and when roasted with the skin, provides fat-soluble vitamins. Many seniors are missing, like vitamin K2, which supports bone and cardiovascular health. The key is moderation and preparation. Cook slowly. Render the fat. Use it to sauté vegetables or enrich soups. With a little citrus or berry-based sauce, duck can become both a brain food and a comfort food. The lesson: don't fear healthy fats. When chosen wisely, they protect your heart, not harm it. Sardines. For bones, blood vessels, and mood stability. Sardines may be small, but they are one of the most nutrient-dense foods available, especially for seniors. When eaten with the bones and skin, sardines deliver highly absorbable calcium, vitamin D, collagen, and omega-3 fatty acids, all in one simple, affordable package. In 2022, a clinical trial found that older adults who ate sardines at least twice a week saw improvements in bone density, triglyceride levels, and markers of inflammation. Unlike larger fish like tuna or swordfish, sardines are low on the food chain, meaning they carry minimal mercury and toxin exposure. They support joint lubrication, arterial flexibility, and even mood stability, thanks to their impact on inflammation and brain chemistry. You can eat them straight from the can on toast with lemon and herbs or mixed into salads. Look for those packed in olive oil for added heart benefits. Sardines teach us this simple truth. Sometimes the most powerful foods come in humble packages. Beef liver for energy, vision, and rapid repair. Last on our list, but arguably the most potent, beef liver. When sourced from grass-fed, pasture-raised animals, liver is a concentrated source of nutrients your body desperately needs as you age. It's rich in bioavailable vitamin A, all the B vitamins, especially B12 iron, zinc, copper, and coenzyme Q10. Together, these support red blood cell production, energy metabolism, immune function, and neurological health. In one 2023 study, seniors who added liver to their diets twice a week experienced measurable improvements in memory energy levels and iron status within just 10 weeks. Liver has been called nature's multivitamin, and for good reason. But it's important to prepare it right. Soak it in milk or lemon water to soften the flavor. Sauté it gently with onions and herbs, or blend small amounts into meatballs or stews to ease into the taste. The lesson here: nutrient density matters more than quantity. A few ounces of liver can do more than a whole plate of lean meat. Each of these 4 meats supports a different part of healthy aging. And when added to your diet in rotation 2 or 3 times a week, they can make a real, measurable difference in how you feel. In the final section, we'll pull all of this together. We'll recap the key lessons, show you how to apply them in daily life, and help you build a plate that works for your body, not against it. Because after 60 food is not just fuel, it's your daily medicine. Let's bring it all home. 8. Final takeaways. Rethinking meat for a longer, stronger life. What you put on your plate after 60 matters more than ever. Because at this stage of life, food is no longer just about appetite. It's about resilience, it's about strength, and it's about protecting the body and mind you've spent decades building. We've talked about the meats that quietly cause harm: processed pork, sausage cold cuts, fried chicken, and factory-farmed skinless chicken breast. Not because meat is bad, but because the wrong kind of meat prepared the wrong way can age you from the inside out. And we've seen how certain meats, like grass-fed lamb, pasture-raised duck sardines with bones, and beef liver, can restore what time and modern diets have taken away. The takeaway is simple. It's not just about cutting back. It's about choosing smarter, choosing meats that are minimally processed, nutrient-dense, and rich in the fats, minerals, and proteins that support healthy aging. Choosing variety over routine, quality over convenience, and intention over habit. Because too often we eat based on what's familiar or easy. But familiarity can hide risk, and ease can lead to erosion. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Change starts with one meal, one swap, one decision to take better care of your body than you did the day before. Start by looking at what you eat most often. Is it helping you stay active, sharp, and strong? Or is it quietly contributing to the problems you've come to accept as normal? Because many of the symptoms we blame on aging, fatigue, joint pain, poor sleep, forgetfulness, can be eased or even reversed by choosing foods that actually nourish us. This isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. The lesson here is this: aging well isn't just about cutting calories, it's about increasing value. Every bite is either a step forward or a step back, and you deserve meals that move you forward. So here's a challenge. Try adding just one of the 4 recommended meats to your routine this week. See how you feel, notice the changes, and keep building from there. If this video gave you something to think about, we'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. What meat are you ready to let go of, and which one are you curious to try? And if you haven't already, subscribe for more science-backed, senior-focused health videos that aim to inform, inspire, and empower. Because knowledge is power. But applied knowledge, that's what transforms lives. Until next time, eat with purpose, live with strength, and never stop learning.